What up, everybody in the YTBC? Big shout out to the UGC and hashtag come back to boxing. When y'all get a chance, go to the description of this video. Check out all my brothers in both those communities. All the links will be listed there. And this really don't have any particular topic. First off, I caught whatever I could of the Devin Haney fight on DAZN. Today has been a very busy day. I didn't even get to put in my predictions like I wanted to Champ Ross, so I'm gonna have to just take a L on every single opportunity as far as the prediction league is concerned. But I did get to catch part of the fifth round, and for the rest of the fight, as you know, it didn't last much longer than that. My understanding is that shout out to Jalik the Leader, by the way. He told me that he had a pretty much a dominant performance. I will go back and watch it so that I can speak on it legitimately, but I'm just saying that's what Jalik the Leader told me. So big shout out to him for at least getting me up to speed on his, at least as far as his perspective was on the fight at that point. And from what I could see, I mean, Haney was just giving Moran, however you say his name, and sorry, no disrespect, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but he was giving him the business. And just a spectacular knockout by Devin Haney. You know, I was impressed. You know, this was his coming out party on DAZN. And he definitely made a statement. I could tell that Eddie Hearn was all smiles. Because, you know, he knows that he made a good decision by getting Devin Haney onto DAZN. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Devin Haney in the future. Really, I mean, we got some good talent coming up, you know, and I think the future of the sport is looking bright. It's up to us as the, if you want to call us new media, whatever you want to label us, it's up to us to just be as upfront and frank as we possibly can. So big, you know, I'm being transparent. I didn't see the whole fight. What I did see, I was impressed with. I will watch it in its entirety and come back with an actual review of the fight. But I do want to say congratulations to Devin Haney. And, yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say about the fight for now. I do want to talk about a couple other things, you know. First off, you know, I want to give a little bit of an update on what happened where I was, you know, I felt like I was treated wrong. I was reached out to, was told that they wanted to chop it up with me so we could hash this out. And I'm going to be honest, that didn't end well. And basically what happened was I get on this hangout and I'm thinking this is going to be a man-to-man thing, and it was just utter bullshit. You know, I get on there and it's me, the other person, because I'm not even gonna talk about this anymore after this, and it's like 3 or 4 other guys on this hangout. And when I get on the hangouts, I'm always like, what's up, you know? How's it going? Like even if we got some strife going on, if we're trying to hash things out, I'm not trying to come at you any particular kind of way. I'm thinking we're going to discuss this and we're going to come to some kind of a common ground. You know, it may not be the exact outcome that I want, but at least if we can settle it civilized, then cool. But immediately I'm asked, why did I make a video lying? Which I didn't lie. But what I'm getting at is this. It's not even really about that. It is what it is. I mean, if you're going to come to me and say you want to hash things out, but then your first thing is, why did you make a video lying? That to me, that right there is just dishonest. You never wanted to hash things out. You just wanted to put me in a hot seat. But this ain't even about that. I think the reason why I ended up in that situation is because I didn't realize it, but I was dealing with somebody who's in this just way too deep. And that's really what I want to talk about right now. Is some people are just in this way too deep. And when I say that, I'm talking about the YouTube boxing community. When I say the YouTube boxing community, if you are on YouTube and you talk boxing, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, you can label yourself whatever you want to. Essentially, you are talking boxing on YouTube. That is where YTBC comes from. And, you know, especially if you're monetizing on YouTube, I mean, you should embrace it, because you're making money off of the YTBC. So why you would try to deny that, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm just a very logical person, and I have come to realize a lot of times there is no reasoning with fools. But I'm just hoping that in making this video, I can strike a chord with at least some people, and then they can, just observe themselves in an honest light and see that maybe they're in just a little too deep. Because here's the thing: if I criticize a fighter, I'm 100% within my rights to do so. And you are as well. I welcome anybody to come and criticize my favorite fighters, because I want my favorite fighters to do better. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Being complacent, that's not really a good thing when you're talking about greatness. You always want to continue to do better. And because the reality is, if you are just working on such a high level, then it's going to make it that much harder for your competition to fuck with you. That's just, it is what it is. I'm at the point where with Keith Thurman, I think after fighting Manny Pacquiao, I don't even want to see him fight Porter. I want him to go ahead and fight either Spence or Crawford. Show that you're the man in the division. Don't let that O define you. But this ain't about Keith Thurman. This is really just about, I just think some people are in too deep. Because when you can't even talk, like if your goal in talking boxing on here is that you're going to, is to change people's minds, to make people see things the way that you see them, then you're in this for the wrong reason. Especially if just because somebody doesn't concede to your way of thinking that you're going to insult them, then yeah, you're in too deep. You're in too deep. And you really need to observe your behavior. I mean, it's funny because I don't even know why I thought I would be able to reason with this dude, because this is the same person who told me, if like they were criticizing AJ, and it's fine. People could criticize AJ, you know, talking about how he's been knocked down in his professional career and he's been knocked out in his amateur career. Okay. You're perfectly within your right to criticize him for that. But are you just going to ignore that Wilder has also been knocked down in his professional career? Are you also going to ignore the fact that Wilder has been knocked out in his amateur career? You know, we can't just ignore these things. And in fact, it's been by, you know, when he was knocked down in his professional career, it was by nobodies. When AJ was knocked down in his professional career, it was by Vladimir Klitschko. You know, it's by solid competition, not by Harold Skonier. You know, and not to drag that man's name through the mud, it's just he's not on that level. But this is the same person who tells me, well, those don't count because they weren't televised. You know, I should have known that. Trying to reason with this dude was just mission impossible. But I want to take that experience and maybe make it a learning experience for some people who may come across my videos, who come across this video specifically. Like, are you terminating friendships that you've made on YouTube because of a disagreement? Like, I've had that happen to me when I took my stance on Povetkin when he failed, you know, his drug tests. I had people who didn't want to fuck with me no more just because of that. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I have standards. And I'm not saying you don't have standards, but our standards don't align. And if you can't be adult enough to accept that, then I'm sorry. I mean, I guess we were never really friends, because I'm willing to accept the fact that your standards are different. Me and the boxing junkie, we're friends. I'm all for drug testing. He says that just let these guys juice up as much as they want. We have completely opposite point of view on the topic of random drug testing. Me and him, we're still friends. I don't think he's evil because he thinks fighters should be able to use whatever they want. And he doesn't demonize me just because I think all fighters should be randomly drug tested. So just observe your own behavior. If you're making excuses, or you know what, it's not even about that. I mean, if you're making excuses for fighters, that's something completely different. But if you're making excuses for your behavior, I think that's a much bigger issue. I think some people are just in too deep. Like, are you automatically judging people just because they're affiliated with a particular outfit, such as the LDBC or you know, I know a lot of people like to separate it, and so just for the sake of this context, I don't really have another word to use for it, but the YTBC, you know, I got people in the LDBC that I fuck with. I'm gonna be honest with you. Are you now gonna look at me a different way? I hope not, because the reality is there are individuals in the LDBC, just like there are individuals in the YTBC. I'm a part of the UGC and hashtag Come Back to Boxing. Guess what? We don't agree on everything. JR He's hashtag come back to boxing. We have a very big disagreement on drug testing. And the UGC, go to any of the live streams on the UGC boxing channel, and you will see that there are a lot of disagreements on every stream, you know, and we go at it. And it gets pretty, like, and we don't hold back. I mean, we don't insult each other, but we don't hold back either. We don't pull no punches. You know, that unbiased. I call him Thor because he aims for the head. You know, I've seen just today. He was like, oh, this dude's here and this dude's here. All right, I'm a aim for both of y'all at the same time. Like, but at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, we're not in so deep that we hold a grudge. We're not in so deep. You know what I'm saying? Like just big shout out to all you uploaders who can talk boxing and separate that shit from you know, the individual. But yeah, I think some people are just in too deep. When I can't criticize your favorite fighter without you wanting to beat my ass, that you're in too deep. Manny Pacquiao is one of my favorite boxers. And I remember there was a picture that somebody edited of Manny Pacquiao laying down after he got knocked out by Marquez. And they edited it onto a NyQuil box. I thought that shit was hilarious. Like, and I really like Manny Pacquiao, but that was funny. I mean, the fact of the matter is he was slept. I'm not going to take it personal just because I like Manny Pacquiao, because I'm not in that deep. To me, this is supposed to be a fun thing. And a lot of people have turned it into gang-like mentality. And I think we could all enjoy ourselves a lot better and enjoy the sport a lot better if we didn't take that mentality. So, at the end of the day, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. I don't care if you're LDBC. I don't care if you're YTBC, UGC, NBBC, MOBC. Shout out to Rasclot. I mean, I'm gonna make it a point that when something negative happens to me, I'm gonna try to turn it into a positive light. Let my experiences be a learning experience for some of y'all. And just understand, you know, that it is very possible for you to accept that other people are not going to see things the way that you see them. And really, you should be able to criticize your own favorite fighters. Right now, I have some criticisms of Keith Thurman and Triple G, and one criticism I have of Lomachenko. I mean, I think he's spectacular, but he's not enrolled in VADA. Doesn't mean that I'm any less of a fan. It's just I would like for him to hold himself up to that standard where people just don't have room to criticize him. And if they do, then it's obviously that they're haters. I mean, I think we can all agree there's haters of any boxer who has a major fan base. They also have a major hater base. As much as I don't like Deontay Wilder, I have to admit his knockout of Dominic Brazil was more impressive than AJ's knockout of Brazil. Does that make me any less of an AJ fan? No. Does that mean I'm jumping on a Wilder bandwagon? No. I still like AJ better. You know, and I still think AJ would beat him if they finally do meet. That's just how I feel. Now, if the day comes and that fight happens and I'm wrong, then guess what? I eat crow, and I have to admit that Wilder is the better man. And that's just how it is with any fight. You know? Now, yeah, robberies do happen, but another thing is, I think robbery is almost every fight that goes to a decision, somebody's crying robbery. And I think that's another thing that needs to stop, because I mean, don't get me wrong. If you feel it's a legit robbery, please do voice it. But if you're just calling out robbery every time a fight doesn't go the way that you hoped it would, that really hurts the sport, because people come on YouTube, they might feel some slight interest in the sport, but when you got all these people crying robbery on every single fight, they might be like, well, why should I even bother with this? I mean, there's no justice in the sport. Anyways, I know I rambled on a little bit, but I mean, really, this would have been more fitted for a live stream, but currently I can't go live on my phone. I need to get a firm grasp on how to do this on a laptop, and I haven't had the time to really get to that point. So I do apologize that this is more of a rambling video, but it is what it is. Y'all let me know what you think about, you know, I'm sure a lot of you have seen people who are just in too deep, like this gang mentality that just is not it's just not necessary, you know? Like, come on now. We need to be adults about this. And if you do have an issue with somebody and you tell them that you want to talk it out with them, like, be genuine about it. You don't need to put it on a hangout with a bunch of other people and then coming at them sideways. Start out with a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Casual conversation. And start talking about, you know, where you think things went south and what you think that person could have done differently and what you think you could have done differently. Because we ain't all perfect. So just be genuine. But that's the last I'm going to talk about that situation. And I got some ideas for some videos. I think I'm going to start doing a boxing dictionary. That's actually something that I thought about doing in the past, and I just never got around to doing it. But hopefully I can actually start. That's something that's actually been it's actually been inspired by Jalik the leader, because he uses a lot of words and we're just like, I don't think you're using that word correctly. But big shout out to Jalik. He's a good sport. I fuck with him hard because he's genuinely a good dude, you know. Yeah, you let me know what you think about anything that I talked about. If there's some other boxing topics, like not related to specific fighters, I mean, if you got those topics too, I'm open to suggestions. But like things that go on in the community that you think maybe should be tackled, I'll be, you know, willing to make some videos about those things as well. But to my subscribers, anybody watching my videos, or you just so happen to stumble on this video, I hope y'all have a wonderful, blessed day, and cherish your loved ones. Peace.